You're listen to it. Relax.
No, you're making me uncomfortable.
Relax.
You're making me uncomfortable.
Welcome back to Advocacy, Alchemy with Professor Ross. Today we have a good one, guys. We're headed back to the skies, or at least the terminal, for a chaotic scene that unloaded at Miami International Airport. On March 21st, 2023, a Frontier Airlines, flight bound for Philadelphia was about to take off when a disagreement over a Louis Vuitton bag spiraled out of control. This one has everything: threats, accusations, defiance, and an eventual arrest that grounded everyone before the wheels even left the ground. Today, we're going to break down the legal consequences that follow, the exact charges filed, and what the body cam tells us about the limits of airline tolerance and law enforcement response. So buckle in, because when you refuse to deplane, threaten the flight crew, and resist officers, you're not heading on your vacation, and you're more than likely to head to someplace none of us want to go, jail. So with that, let's jump in.
They don't want to get off. They don't want to get off. It's cool.
Oh, y'all were here this whole time and y'all didn't. How about y'all grab my bag? Y'all just here. Do something. Make yourself useful. Guys, I don't know why she got kicked off. This is my friend, so I'm going with her. I'm a retired Army veteran. I know how to conduct myself.
Put your bags in the front.
Take off your purse.
Why?
Take off your purse, okay?
Why?
You guys are going to go to jail. Take off your purse.
Why are we going to jail?
Take off your purse.
I'm not comfortable.
Listen to it.
Talaya!
Relax.
No, you're making me uncomfortable.
Relax.
You're making me uncomfortable. Why am I going to jail? I didn't say nothing. I didn't hit nobody. Why?
Relax. Got it? All right.
Man, stop resisting.
There you go.
Somebody, I'm a retired Army veteran. Talaya!
Let's go. What's wrong with you?
Because you're making me uncomfortable.
Calm down.
No.
You're under arrest.
For what?
We'll let you know right now. Come on. We're gonna get the other.
You're choking me. Talaya! Okay. Can I be unchoked? Can I be not
Nobody's choking you. Relax. Can you relax?
Can you relax?
I'm telling you, I'm fine.
You're not.
You're not one acting
Look at my arm.
crazy.
Look at my arm.
Because you're acting crazy.
No, I came off the plane by myself. You didn't come and get me off the plane.
Lady, we already told you were under arrest.
No, you did not. They
Yes,
told
we
me I
did.
had to get off the plane.
Right now.
Excuse me. They told me I had to board. They didn't tell me I had to. Can I please? Can you let go of me like this? Excuse me, sir.
Calm down.
I am a sergeant. Retired
You're not
from the
acting.
Army.
You're not acting like someone who's been
You're
in
not
service.
either. You're not either.
You're under
If you were
arrest.
acting like it,
Calm down.
Excuse me.
I don't want to talk to you. Calm down. Calm down. What's wrong with you? All right.
Can you stop touching me? I'm choking! Let go. I just got off the bed, girl. Like, you see, I'm not drunk. Do not completely suffer with you. He just told me she's kicked off. I don't know why I'm being arrested. I'm sober. Yes, you are. Brian, I tried to calm her down. I see stars. I calmed her down. I'm not screaming. I'm not screaming. I'm sober. Excuse me, ma'am. Can you hold me? A man can hold me, but not a man. Look at how. No, I am not hype. Look, I'm not hype. Look at how he's holding me. He's trying to still detain me. Ma'am, I've been an officer my whole life. You bitch, I'll spit on you. I'll give you up and kill. Your pussy. I have no name.
Relax. Look, okay, look.
Figure it out. Ma'am,
You don't want to talk to them, don't worry. Talk to me, okay?
ma'am, can I speak to you? Can you come over here? Can we move around? You guys can both hold me, but move me away because I'm going to smack the shit out of them. I will break out of this as quick as you ever think. I live too much.
Listen, you're going to get more charges for no reason.
You know what you understand. We got no charges.
You're going to get more charges.
Everybody on the plane has no issue with us. Can you listen to me?
Listen, you ain't talking yet.
Can I be let go of? I'm very uncomfortable. Can you let go of? Can I be in the space to walk so that you guys can come like this? I just look at you. I'm not trying to fight. How can I fight with my hands like this? I feel intact. Nobody has said anything to anybody. So why am I detained?
Because what happened was they told you guys to get off the plane. You guys refused to get off the plane. I was not on there, but that's what they're saying.
No, we did not refuse. Even the airport people, the people that were sitting next to us said, why are they trying to kick you off? You can go on and ask everyone.
Yeah, but you have to understand, whenever the airlines tell you to get off,
I'm retired Army. I understand. I get every baggage free. I get loaded for free. Why would I act any way? Please tell me. I'm acting this way because I was scared off. How would you act? It doesn't justify anything, but it justify you acting like this? When I fight for your freedom, you don't fight for my freedom like I fight for your freedom. I've shot, I've had a guy right in front of me. Let's be real. I've seen die anymore. That's not fair.
Okay, just relax and let them figure it out. Just relax.
Mommy, so figure it out for them to do this. I've never been arrested. You can look at my record. I've never been arrested like this. You want to take a picture for my photos? No, take a picture. I need a picture.
Now you're not being reasonable.
I am being reasonable. I need a picture of my Instagram so they know I'm not home at a party tonight, that I have to be at, that I got paid $3,000 for it. Thank you. Nobody on the plane said nothing. If anything, I should be arrested, not her, because she didn't do nothing. We're not talking about listening. I don't feel comfortable talking to those two. I feel comfortable talking to y'all.
He told me to help her. Okay, until we further investigate what's going on.
He is a weirdo.
okay, listen, for some reason they wanted you off the plane and you didn't want to get off.
I didn't refuse to get off.
Why did they call us?
When they told me to get off the plane, they told you guys were already here. You can ask them yourself. I never refused to get. Why would I refuse to get off if I can get on another flight? What sense does that make? You guys are detaining us to keep us from acting violent, but you don't understand this makes us more acting more violent. I'm an Army veteran. I understand how to control my anger. That's why before, when I got on here, when the guy was being smart about veterans, he was like, "Oh, you can't board." I said, "Yes, I can. With Frontier, you can." Not every. Are you listening to me or no?
I'm trying to make sure she's okay.
Go ahead. We're not going to be going. If we're not together, we're not both good. My hands are on one. I will definitely sue you. Not you, but I will definitely sue you. Miami-Dade police
There's
report.
no flights. It's spring break. There's no flights to get home.
My bags are still on the plane. 2 Louis bags. Yes, 2. I don't know.
Well, you're boarding pass, so I can't
Good
see
luck. I'm not letting you touch my shit. No. I didn't even yell. I didn't even hit nobody. I'm not
Wait, I'm gonna. Hey, you said you was a.
I don't care. Just get me out of here. I don't want my clothes. I don't want that shit. I want to go home. I don't want that. I want to go home. I've been trying to go home for 2 days. My best friend died in front of my hotel. What the f is wrong with y'all? Y'all are sick. You're sick. I thought you would be different. You're sick. You're sick. My best friend got shot, cold blooded in front of the hotel. I've been trying to go home since then. No, you're not. If you were sorry, I wouldn't be in this. I didn't yell at nobody.
Just because I'm sorry doesn't mean
I
your behavior
understand.
is okay.
I didn't behave no way. It was some tears.
Oh, okay. Your bag's right there.
Even everybody else, I didn't. You can ask everyone sitting next to me. They're having me hold their babies. Why would they have me hold their babies if I wasn't a good person? I hate all y'all. No, get off me.
We're gonna walk. Come on. Don't make it harder than what it has to be. Come on.
You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hurt. Yeah, I got it, Benny. Got it?
Yeah.
You're on stairs. Don't knock off.
Get one foot and I'm gonna get the other.
You got leg restraints? Trying to fight.
I can't breathe. No, I can't. I'm not being funny.
Wait on the leg restraints. You hurt, Benny? Trying to grab you. Yeah, she's trying to grab you. I got myself.
You bitch.
Have my phone. Stairs.
she's trying to kick. That's fine. That's fine.
Charlie 2012 requesting a ball reference to 36.
That's not going to stop me. I'm just going to sue you. Because I feel very mishandled. I've been raped by military police officers.
Alright. Leave it some slack, Manny, so we grab it under the hinge.
Yeah, you just like here.
Oh yeah, but she still has
All
her
this for a military veteran. I remember all your faces.
You're perfect.
I think my cuffs are on her. My cuffs are on her.
Wait.
Just take off the cut it.
You're a cop. You die. You guys are such not even real cops.
Want to grab the other side? Or just grab the other side?
Okay. Hi, the first cop.
You do.
My hair! Ow!
If you open this door, it'll make your life easier.
Let's take a closer look at the laws at play here. Remember, this is Florida. This is in Miami International Airport. First, you have battery on a law enforcement officer. This is found at the Florida statute, section 784.07. Our particular portion is found at section 2B. This felony charge is applied when someone knowingly strikes or touches an officer against their will while the officer is performing their lawful duties. Here, the woman faces 2 counts. This is due to separate instances of contact or resistance with multiple officers. The penalty for this charge is a third-degree felony that carries up to 5 years in prison, up to 5 years on probation, and a fine of up to $5,000. All right, let's move on to our second charge, resisting an officer with violence. This is found under the Florida statute, section 843.01. This felony charge applies when someone willfully resists or obstructs a law enforcement officer by doing violence to them, knowing they are officers acting in their official capacity. Here, we have physical defiance, pulling away, attempting to kick, refusing to comply while issuing threats. This all meets the standard for resisting with violence. Now, the penalty is also a third-degree felony that carries the 555. 5 years in prison, 5 years on probation, a fine of up to $5,000. Let's move on to our next charge, assault on a law enforcement officer. This is found at section 784.07. This is found at section 2A. Assault is defined as an intentional, unlawful threat by word or act to do violence to another person, combined with the apparent ability to do so, creating a well-founded fear in the other person. When the target is a law enforcement officer, the penalty is enhanced. Here, the woman faces 3 counts. They all probably stem from separate statements toward the officers, all considered direct verbal threats made during this encounter. Now, the penalty for this is a first-degree misdemeanor. It carries 1 year in jail, up to 1 year probation, and a fine of up to $1,000. All right, our final charge is trespassing after warning. This is found at section 810.09. This is found at section 2B. This charge applies when a person refuses to leave a property, or in this case, an aircraft, after being explicitly told to do so by someone with legal authority to make that demand. Here we had warnings that came from both the flight crew and the police, but the woman continued to remain on the aircraft, ultimately causing a full evacuation of all passengers. This is a second-degree misdemeanor. It carries up to 60 days in jail, up to 6 months of probation, a fine of up to $500. In every criminal case, we must understand the 6 levels of evidence that guide law enforcement, prosecutors, and juries. Let's walk through each step and apply them to this Miami airport incident. First, you have mere suspicion. This is a gut feeling or your intuition, but not supported with any specific facts. It's a hunch that something might be wrong. In this case, the airline staff may have first had mere suspicion that the passenger was becoming disruptive when she raised her voice over the scratched Louis Vuitton bag. Number 2, reasonable suspicion. This is based on specific, articulable facts that suggest someone may be involved in criminal activity. It's more than a hunch, but it's less than probable cause. When the passenger refused repeated commands to deplane and began arguing with crew members, law enforcement had reasonable suspicion that a public disturbance was occurring. Number 3, probable cause. This exists when the facts and circumstances would lead a reasonable person to believe a crime has been, is being, or will be committed and the suspect is involved. Once the woman ignored police commands, resisted physically, and threatened officers, probable cause for arrest on charges like trespassing, battery, and resisting with violence was clearly established. Number 4, preponderance of the evidence. This standard is used mostly in civil cases. It means more likely than not the claim is true. It takes about 51% of the evidence in your favor to win this type of case. If this case involved a civil claim, for instance, if she later sued for excessive force, her resistance and body cam footage might be used to argue that it was more likely than not the officers responded lawfully. Number 5, clear and convincing evidence. All right, this is a higher standard of proof, also used in civil type cases mostly. And this one means that it's highly probable or reasonably certain that the claim is true. This takes about 75% of the evidence to prove your claim at this level. These type of cases require more proof, like if you're going to say someone defrauded you, or if you need to prove more during an administrative hearing or a child custody dispute. Here, if the woman challenges the intent behind her actions, claiming trauma or misunderstanding, prosecutors will need clear and convincing evidence that she knew she was disobeying lawful orders and that she acted aggressively. All right, number 6, beyond a reasonable doubt. All right, this is the highest standard of proof and it's required in each criminal case. It means the evidence must leave jurors firmly convinced that the defendant is guilty of the charge. In this case, the prosecutor will have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the woman's resistance was intentional, that her physical acts were unlawful, and that she knew the individuals were law enforcement officers that were performing their lawful duties. Now, let's put ourselves in the jury box. You're not a bystander or critic. You're the decision maker once you're inside the jury box. Now your verdict holds real weight. Let's walk through this situation again and let's ask you a few questions. And our final question is going to be, what is going to be your decision? All right, this incident began with a dispute over a bag that was in an overhead bin. But instead of complying with airline staff or police, the passenger escalated the situation. All right, because of that, the flight was delayed. This person refused to leave, threatened officers, and ultimately was arrested. Let me ask you, was she a victim of misunderstanding, or did her behavior warrant the arrest? Second, the woman emphasized that she was a military vet, bringing up trauma, sacrifice, and emotional struggles. Now, as a juror, is that a mitigating factor? Is that something that can explain this behavior? Or do you believe it's a distraction from her legal responsibility to comply? Now, the woman made some statements like, I'll sit on you, I'll break out of this, and she claimed to feel uncomfortable and mishandled. The woman also kicked at officers and resisted the restraints. So here's the question. Do you believe these were real threats to justify assault charges, or simply emotional outbursts in a tense moment? And would her tone and body language influence your decision on whether those words instill fear in the officers? Now, the woman also refused to exit the plane, even after multiple requests from crew and the police. All passengers were forced to come off the plane. Did the woman knowingly trespass by refusing to leave? Or do you think the instructions weren't clearly given? Would you hold her accountable for delaying the flight? Or would you look at the crew's actions for potential overreaction? All right, and finally, the woman claimed she was calm and controlled and didn't understand why she was being arrested. She said she had never been arrested before and brought up issues like trauma. Now, as a juror, is any of that relevant to your verdict? Or are they emotionally compelling but legally irrelevant? One last thing to keep in mind, does this body cam footage match her version of events? Now, if you were a part of this jury and went back for deliberations, and that's when you go and talk everything over and decide the verdict, would you convict her of any of the felonies? Or would you reduce some of these charges down to misdemeanors? Or did you think there was nothing there, and would you acquit her based on what you've seen? Leave a comment below and let me know what your thoughts are and what your decision would be. So, what did we learn from this mile-high meltdown that never really even left the runway? This case is a powerful reminder that airports are not playgrounds and the aircraft isn't your personal stage. Once airline staff or law enforcement give lawful orders, especially ones that involve the safety and operation of a flight, you're not in a position to negotiate. Verbal threats, physical resistance, and delaying a commercial flight and forcing passengers to come off of it. All these actions carry consequences. In this case, these consequences were felony level serious. This woman now faces multiple charges, a lifetime airline ban, and a criminal record that no veteran status or social media posts can erase. Let me take 1 second to speak to veterans out there. It's important you understand that your service is truly honored, but in court, behavior still matters. Intuition might tell you something feels off, but once you're told you're under arrest, that's the moment to comply first and contest it later. This incident also teaches us the importance of keeping our emotions in check, even when we feel wronged. Escalating in public spaces, especially airports, well, that's just going to rapidly turn into a criminal case. So let me hear from you. Was this an overreach by the officers or a passenger that was pushing the boundaries? What charges do you think will stick in this situation? Let's talk about it all in the comments below. If you learned something new today, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, make sure you share it with someone who travels often. Remember, this is Advocacy Alchemy, and I am Professor Ross. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Be safe.